Are Disney annual passes still worth it? Can you afford it? What are annual passes all about if you've never gotten one before? We're going to give you some tips and tricks about that whole situation coming up next. Hey there, this is Jones with One Stop Mouse, your one-stop source of Walt Disney World information. So, Disney World annual passes, are they still worth it? That's the big question everybody's freaking out about. It's on vlogs, it's in newspapers and everything. Well, sorry to tell you, but the passes and just about everything else Disney World went up in 2018, in 2017, in 2016, and they will go up again in 2020. They'll go up every year. This year, it was a bit of unfortunate timing. They told the top 3 tiers of pass holders that they would be able to participate in special perks and even a special preview getting into Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disney World before it opened to the general public. And everybody got so happy about that. Then 24 hours later, they basically increased the prices of those 3 passes by a couple of $100. And, you know, if they would have been a little bit further apart, maybe it wouldn't have had the reaction, but it had quite a reaction. Walt Disney World, and the Disney Corporation actually, is a capitalist dream come true. No matter how much they do, no matter how much they raise the prices, more and more and more people want to come to the parks and want to participate in Disney. And Disney has grown. Disney is now Marvel. Disney is what used to be Lucasfilm. It's all over the place. Over 20 million people, after they increased prices last year and after everybody was complaining, went to Magic Kingdom alone. They're at capacity on more and more days each year where they have to close a park and not let anybody else in. They have things like Star Wars Galaxy's Edge that's coming out in a few months that's gonna draw people in that aren't even into Disney or Disney parks, that are just into Star Wars. Okay, so enough talk about that. Let's back up just a second and let's look at all of the Disney annual passes available and then a tiny bit of detail into what each one entails and the differences between them and the costs. For those of you who aren't familiar with annual passes, this will make more sense. Disney has 10 annual park passes for the United States. Only one of them, the one up on the top, the Premier Passport, is for both Disneyland and Disney World, and the rest of them, the Platinum Plus Passport, the Platinum Pass, Gold Pass, Silver Pass, Theme Park Select Pass, Weekday Pass, Epcot Water Park Annual Pass, and Water Park After 2 Pass are all for Disney World. Some of those are for everyone, no matter where they live, and some of them are just for Florida residents. Some of them have blackout dates that you can't go on when it's real busy, and some of them don't. And one of them actually varies. So let's get into those. The big reason that this is a topic right now is that 3 of those passports, the top 3, as you can see here, the Premier Passport, the Platinum Plus, and the Platinum, these 3 top tier pass holders will be offered a yet to be announced / limited availability Walt Disney World Star Wars Galaxy's Edge perks, including earlier than opening day quote unquote admission. And so they're not giving specifics enough as to this date, but they did announce this. Everyone got happy, and then the next day they said, oh yeah, by the way, we're going to increase the Premier Passport by $150, and then the other 2, the Platinum Plus and the Platinum, by $225. And the timing, one right before the other, wasn't really good, and it struck a bad note with people. The Big Daddy, the most expensive pass, is the Premier Passport, which per person, that's anybody over 3 years old, $2,099. That gives you a year admission, a 1-year admission to both Disneyland in California and Disney World in Orlando. No blackout dates, admission to all the parks and all the water parks, and you can hop from park to park in a single day as well, as much as you want. Free downloads of all the PhotoPass photos, those professional photographers hanging out all over the place, and then they scan your magic band. Up to 20% off select dining, up to 20% off select merchandise in both parks and online. Free standard theme park parking in both parks on both coasts, and special pass holder merchandise. Next up, the Platinum Plus Passport. All of these prices are the new prices, by the way, with the increases that just happened. So the Platinum Plus, a year admission to just Disney World, Florida, as will be all the rest of these. Only that top one is to both coasts. No blackout dates, admission to all the parks and water parks, everything they got at Disney World, and you can hop from park to park, and then all the other stuff that I said before, free downloading of photo passes, discounts off of dining and merchandise online and in shops, and theme park parking and special merchandise just for pass holders. Next up is the Platinum Pass. This is the one that I have right now. It didn't cost that when I got it almost a year ago. That gives you a 1-year admission to Disney World, just like the other one, the Platinum Plus did, with no blackouts, but there are no water parks included in this, and I'm not a big water park guy. I just wanted one that would get me to all the Walt Disney World parks and let me hop around wherever I wanted to if unexpected things came up, and this was the best plan if you can afford it. Free downloads of all the photos, the 20% discount off the dining and the merch and everything else in the plans that were higher tiered than this. The Gold Pass, $6.99, available to Florida residents only. This interests me because up until a few months ago, I was not a Florida resident. Now I am, so I'm going to hope that I can cash in on this. A note here, when you have an annual pass and you go to renew it, it's a little less expensive than the stated price than just walking up and getting one. So right now I have yet to see what my Platinum Pass would be, which is that $8.99 pass. If it's going to be $7.99 or whatever, I doubt it's going to be as inexpensive as the Gold Pass, which I can get now. However, the difference is there are blackout dates. It's a year's worth of admission to Disney World, but there are blackout dates here. If you were to go to those and look, you know, it's after mid-December and then on through the other side of New Year's and a few other times of year. So I may not want that doing what I do. I don't mind the no water parks, and everything else is pretty much the same as a Platinum Pass, but the blackout dates, that's where you have to be careful to look at the blackout dates, because a lot of the ones from here on in as we go down the ladder are going to have blackout dates of some sort, and what would work best for you. The Silver Pass, now we're down to $519. Admission, quote unquote, most times of year. That's right off the Disney site for 1 year to Disney World, Florida. Check for select blackout dates, admission to everything, no water parks, but you can hop. Just basically everything is the same, except you have blackout dates like the Gold Pass, and you're paying less because there are more blackout dates. Here's the most curious one amongst the group, the Theme Park Select Pass, $439. This is available only to Florida residents as well. Admission during certain times of year to select theme parks at Disney World, Florida. admission to at least one theme park annually compared to the Silver Pass. Check for select blackout dates, which vary park to park, but from time to time, existing blackout dates for this pass may be lifted, and then the rest pretty much is the same with discounts and merch. So what this one is basically saying is it's a sliding scale. We will let you in to some park annually more than the more expensive Silver Pass, and you've got blackout dates, but it's not going to be across the board. It's going to be according to what's more convenient for Disney with attendance. And from time to time, if the attendance isn't bad, they might just lift some of the blackout dates, but you won't know till close to the last minute. So I guess that this is for the most flexible Florida residents. And then we have the Weekday Select Pass for $349, available to Florida residents only, admission during certain times of year, Monday through Fridays only at Disney World, and it has blackout dates. I know some people who are locals, who are older and retired, and they are great with this. They wouldn't go to Disney World on the weekend when it is more crowded anyway, and it doesn't make a difference to them. This is actually what they prefer, so they are fine with this and are also fine with paying a lot less money. The Epcot After 4 annual pass is $439. That's another one of these passes available to Florida residents only. This one gives you an admission for a year to Epcot alone any day after 4 p.m. And then you get some special perks and invitations to Epcot's events and festivals. And then the 20% off dining, 20% off merch, free parking, special pass holder merch. So obviously this is for the locals who like to go to the ever expanding and ever more popular events and festivals at Epcot. This would make sense to them. The Water Parks annual pass is $139. That gives you admission for 1 year to Typhoon Lagoon and to Blizzard Beach, and that's for one person over the age of 3. Under 3 is free for any of these during their normal operating hours, and those can vary according to hurricane weather or freezing weather in the winter. That is not just for Florida residents, that's for anyone. So during blazing summer heat, that's sort of a cool, great idea for people who maybe want to take a few days and drive down to Disney, who live with their kids in Alabama or maybe South Georgia. And they also have one that is for Florida residents as well, which is the next one. The Water Parks After 2 pass is $89. That's for Florida residents alone, though. And that gives you admission for a year to the 2 water parks any day after 2 p.m. on those normal operating hours days. So, are Disney annual passes worth it or not? They are worth it if you go to Disney World more than a few times a year. As these prices go up and up and up every year, it's going to get to a point where some of you will have to really take advantage of discounts in order to go. If you do begin to go only once a year when you're used to going a handful of times a year, then an annual pass probably isn't worth it. Anybody who's been to Disney World before, especially any of you guys who are freaks about it like me, or you go a few times a year at least, you know in your heart of hearts that yes, Disney is still family friendly and it is still worth it, but unfortunately, you know, money is money. So, more than ever, in order to have fun, it's a fingerprint experience to make it what you want. Is an annual pass worth it? You'll have to figure out how many times a year am I going to go to Disney, how much time and how much money do I have, and what do I want to get out of it. You can do that homework. You can watch videos like this, you can get online and on the phone and you can talk to Disney, you can look at all of the blog sites and all the Disney information. You can work with some of the travel companies like Mickey Travels, and they don't even charge you any money. And Mickey Travels is not a sponsor for us. We just like them. We've worked with them before personally on trips. Wrapping this video up, let us know if you've got a special perspective or any tips or tricks on using annual passes, where you're from, if you're from out of state, or if you're a Florida resident, which passes work for you. Please ask us any questions that you have. We'd love to answer them or have you stump us so we can find the answer to them. Please subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you can be made aware of future videos coming out, and like this video as well. Tell your friends and family about us, please. We're a small new channel that's struggling to grow. And come back and see us.
We'll see you real soon.
Why? Because we like you.